They are part of the finest quality line. And again, it's just a different format for the acrylic paint. It has the same pigment loading, the same ratio of pigment to binder as the high viscosity, or in the last video we actually talked about the liquids. But these, low viscosity, are even thinner. They're almost water-like. Use these in the beginning very much like a watercolor. That is, I'm going to add water so much to the point that the acrylic binder gets dispersed, and these will just lay down on the paper like a watercolor would. I'm going to start by wetting, because I want to get some natural bleeding happening, especially around this area here. Then I will handle this very much like a watercolor, then I'll do some dry brushing on top of that. I'm going to start first by just using an unbleached titanium. I just want sort of a nice, natural, almost color-like pigment. And I'm going to just sort of go along the edges, just to give a little... I'm not going to fill in everywhere. I want the paper to breathe through. Now I'm going to add my secondary color. I'm going to make sure that the centers are really wet. And this time I'm going to use my Arylide Yellow Deep. I'm a fan of that, but I'm going to put it out. And again, this paint is so pigmented and so powerful, I hardly need anything on there. To take my brush and wet it out. I'm just going to put it in. Taking a bit more of the pigment, I found that too weak. Again, I'm not being too careful about how I want to have a very organic flow to it. Trying to get it more concentrated in the corners where it forms a little V. Have it fade out as it goes out. What I might even do is lift this up to get some natural runs happening there like that. I'm going to go down this way. As I said, I want this to be a very loose style. Now I'm going to go in with a third color. Again, just a little wee bit. And I always keep it, as I close the nozzle, because there's a little bit of a burp, keep it there like that. Clean off my tip as I put it away. Put some of this right in here. And it's still wet. There's some nice bleeding happening in here. Low viscosity has been packaged in what we call little Boston rounds, and recently it has been got a new packaging which has a different nozzle, and this nozzle is ideal for doing extrusions. That if you open it up, it disperses the paint in such a fine point that you can use it to make nice lines with. Do my little decal. I'm using a color that's unique to Tri-Art. It's called Transparent Permanent Orange. It's almost like a burnt crimson-y orange, and it's just a really nice color. I thought it would tie in nicely because I've got more of my warm values in here, and then the orange would be the complementary to the violet color that I created on the edge, and it just will give it a nice little spark. Okay. And to disperse it, I'm just going to squeeze lightly. You don't want to give it a big push or else it's going to spew out more. So I'm just going to put a gentle pressure on it. I'm echoing the indents that were created by the embossing. Almost like little seed pods. Because this does have a very botanical feel to me.